Hello, sorry, I forgot to put my my microphone on, so that's why I was a couple minute late. All right, I think everything should be fine. I'm just gonna give you a heads up. This is probably gonna be a low effort stream, but that's all right. I'm super tired. Um, just this weekend was Easter, family stuff. I don't know. Don't know what to tell you, but we have some an okay topic to talk about. I just need a minute to compose myself. I've been doing a lot of stuff. So before we talk about HTCP stripping, I'm stripping, yeah, right, the negative. It's actually funny because I think I originally tried to name the stream like testing HTCP strippers, and it wouldn't let me. I don't think it likes that word stripper. So it like immediately not blocked it, but like it said, no, you can't, you can't schedule a stream with that name. Hey, Belmont. All right, so let's get some stuff out of the way. So first of all, you might have seen my tweet. Hey, Chungo, no booba tonight. Maybe I don't know. We'll have to see if I have any. I don't even know if we're gonna get far enough to play PS3 games. So you might have seen on my Twitter that I ordered a nylon 3D printed N64 stick box. So just the housing, because I have one from an original controller that has a broken. This little peg here is broken off. So really, I only needed the bottom piece. But I figured that I would test an entire. Well, it's not entirely new, but using the kitch bent sticks and stuff that I got from before. Strippers went, yeah. Using the kitch bent stick and gear stuff, but with the original, what do they call it, transcoder or whatever the heck the wheels are. So everything else is pretty much new except for the thing, and it is terrible. I have to say. So either maybe it because sometimes those encoder wheels, oh, that's what those encoders. Those encoder wheels go into this part. Oh, this is the original bowl. But the encoders go into the bowl here, and they're like got holes in them, and sometimes those holes can be tight on the new ones, on the kitch bent ones. So it's possible that it's too tight still from that, and like I didn't drill out the holes. But it's like you can get it to a spot where it will stick. Like that's not that's not good. So I don't know if it's just this top nylon part. So what I'd like to test is get the original top, because this is still an okay shape. I need to clean it, but everything else, keep everything else as is, and just put the old top on, and see if that fixes it. Because this nylon is kind of rough. I mean, this is the original texture. This is nylon 11. Oops, trying to center. It's sort of rough texture, and then this top is the same, but it's been vapor smoothed, but it's not like completely smooth, So it's possible that it's just the texture underneath that it doesn't like. So I don't know. It was a cool experiment. I spent $30 on this nylon part. So, but it's kind of a cool experiment. But in the case like mine, where you break this bottom part, there aren't really replacements for this out there. Hey, Wilding Pixels, stickers, strippers. Am I just gonna be known as that guy now? I'm just the stripper and booba guy. All right, let's see what else. I've been exploding my setup again. I feel like every time I have a stream, I talk to you guys about my stream setup. I changed everything about my stream setup. Not everything, but I guess the main the main thing that I got was the Extron DXP. So the Extron DXP is to HDMI what the cross point is for component. So it's basically a matrix, like a not industrial, but like commercial grade matrix, and they go all the way up to 8x8. So you can have 8 inputs, 8 outputs. But I just have a measly 4. CO, So I have a measly 4x4, but that's fine, because really all I needed it to do was to have a couple of inputs, right? So I just have a normal HDMI, like full-size HDMI input, and then I've got one that is the mini HDMI, and that pretty much covers any console that I want to test, because I don't have my stuff permanently set up. But if I had a permanent setup and I had a bunch of consoles, I would probably want the 8x4 at least. And then the output for the DXP is going to go, they're each going to one of the scalers. It is a 1080p switch. In all seriousness, I want to see what types of bypass are used. Yeah, I got some cheap, basically like, I got some cheap ones from that thread that I posted about the other day. Some suggestions. I know there's a million. We'll kind of talk about why we need it in a second, but I want to talk about the DXP again still. So, and I guess this is sort of a public service announcement. When I first got the DXP, I was testing it, right? The Extron DXP. I was testing it with all three. So I have the Morph and the Troubleshooting 4K and the OSSC Pro. And so I wanted to make sure that an input worked with all three of them. So I just happened to have my PS3, and I was just doing some preliminary testing because this was tonight was supposed to be the PS3 stream, but I feel like enough people probably would care about the one crucial step, which is strip the HDCP the encryption stuff. So I figured we would just talk about it a little bit and demo some of the stuff that I bought on Amazon. So I was testing the DXP, and I noticed that the Troubleshooting 4K was always giving me a hard time. It was displaying black screen. If you were in actually Wildman Pixels was there. I kind of like freaked everyone out because the Troubleshooting 4K wasn't getting. It looked like it was getting the signal, right? Because the other two, like the Morph and the OSSC Pro, were getting signal from at least the PS3. Or I tried GameCube and stuff too, but the Troubleshooting had a black signal. I could navigate the OSD, but it wasn't outputting anything for HDMI input. So I didn't really know what went wrong. I mean, I try to use pretty high quality stuff. I really like this. I use these decently high quality Power Bear. I don't have any affiliate links in the description, but I might add some for the products of this lineup that I recommend. So if I was not lazy, I would put these. Actually, the Power Bear ones are in my Morph stream videos. I really like these ones. But also, I've also used the Amazon Basics 4K ones. They're pretty decent. So those are about the same price. So if you like silver, that's the one. I like those ones too. So anyways, I have high quality HDMI cables. That wasn't the issue. I thought it might be the Extron. I thought the Extron might not have been compatible with it. Long story short, it turns out that it was the power supply. I was using, so both the Morph and the Troubleshooting use a USB Type-C, and I was using, I'm not going to unplug it now, but I had I bought this because basically I was trying to simplify my, I actually have two, I think they're 12 port each. I have two 12 port, actually, maybe I'll show you quickly if I don't blow everything up. Actually, you know what, do I have to, let me get a light. I know we're getting to HDCP, not DHCP, HDCP, we'll get there, but I want to just, this is my crazy, hold on, sorry, excuse me, oh no, okay, here we go. All right, I think you guys can still see. God, okay. I actually got a second one of these things here now. Okay, so like, oops, I gotta hit this on auto. There we go. Oops, it's kind of blown out because I don't know. Sorry, I can hold this back here. So I have a second one of these now. I only was rocking one before of these power surge protector things. So now they're both. I have two of them now, just to make more room to have stuff plugged in. And I actually do have a power, a thing that meters the power. So like I'm not like maxing out the circuit or anything. I'm just running out of space, like physically. So this back here. Actually no. I'll show you what I was using that I don't recommend doing. I guess the bottom line is I would not use any sort of power adapter that has more than one output. So for example, this in the back here is the Ugreen USB power delivery thing, and that's a USB Type-C outputs. I would not recommend using both outputs on any scaler. I would just use simple, well, the requirements for the Troubleshooting 4K are 2 amps. So you have to use a semi-decently powered, sorry, it's kind of blowing out my, let me try to turn this. I'm sorry if you guys weren't able to see. Let me turn this down. Okay, is that a little better? Okay, yeah. I would recommend if you see in the middle there, just they're kind of semi-generic. Actually, the white one is an Amazon Basics one. That's a 2.5 amp single USB power thing. I recommend that just for simplicity. I actually ordered some Anker small form factor, those GAN ones that are just single charger ones. So I'm going to test those out. But I guess bottom line is I would not recommend any multiple chargers. I would just stick with single ones for at least with the Retchting 4K. The Morph and the OSSC Pro, they seem like they handle multi-chargers a little bit better, but you start getting into weird stuff. Just like, it's not that it doesn't work, it just starts to become, like things start becoming less compatible. And I even noticed, you guys might have heard me talk about the flickering issues that I was having in Windows, because this is the new Capture PC. And at first I thought it might be the graphics card or the power supply. Like I literally bought like a $100 power supply to put in here that's super overpowered for this system because I thought it might have been a power thing. It turns out that I was showing you those surge protectors. The surge protector has built-in USB ports on them. Do not use those ever. I mean, I don't think they're going to fry anything, but just those, they just cause instability. So I bought this portable monitor, and the portable monitor was plugged into the USB ports on the surge protector. But this portable monitor being plugged into those surge protectors was causing that issue, because I noticed that if I switched this from using those ports, hopefully everything's okay. I switched it from using the ports on the surge protector to a standalone power supply, and that problem went away. No idea. I don't know. Just weirdness. So there's stripping going on in there. Yes, there will be stripper. Can I do a teardown? I'm not doing any I'm not the person that will be doing teardowns of anything. Bypass splitter? Oh, just because you want to know what the parts are inside? I suppose. I have one. I'll cut to the chase that we will be getting to the background of HDCP, but I have some things. Pretty much everything is going back. I'm returning everything because I guess I'll spoil it. The one I already had, the HDMI splitter I already had was already a splitter. So we'll talk, or a stripper, HDCP stripper. So we'll talk about it. Yeah. So long story short, with the power supply thing, try to use 2.5-ish, 2.4, 2.5-ish standalone USB power chargers. I'm going to test those tiny form factor GAN Anker chargers, like they're really small. They look like an iPhone charger, but they're like 2.5 or 3 amps or something. Oh, my cat just walked in. I'm going to test those because I just need to minimize space, and those are kind of small. So, yeah. So if you are having I don't think anyone else is really running 3 scalers in their setup. Even Mike Chi said that he doesn't really often do multi inputs and things. He just sticks with one input, one output, which, it's a little, I'm not going to say disappointing, but I kind of feel alone. Like there's nobody that I know that is running multiple scalers and inputs and things and like is having all these problems. But I'm starting to weed out where the problems are coming from. Sorry, my cat just left. So that's the first nugget of knowledge: is use one scaler per charger. Don't get a multiple charger. This was the thing I was talking about earlier. Oh, you can't. It doesn't even have a picture of the thing in the box. Anyways, this is the box. I put it away because I'm going to return it. But it has like 8 or something inputs, and on paper, the description of this thing is like each of the ports in here can do like 2.5 amps at 5 volts, which is on paper more than enough to power all 3 of the scalers, and it has like 8 ports. So I thought that this was going to solve all my issues, and this was just going to be one way to get a bunch of USB stuff powered, but not good for the second cat wants to get out now. Not good enough for the scalers. So stick with standalone ones. So I'm gonna get a bunch of money back because I'm returning all this crap. But That's what I want to say. Let me see. Let me get one of them ho-hos on the back shelf. Don't make fun of me, man. Oh, you guys want to see my candy stuff before we talk about HDCP or my snacks? So I guess ho-hos are like my favorite of the Hostess. Like I don't like the cupcakes. I don't know. This is just this is such a dumb stream. This is a low effort stream. Then the goat. Did you guys get any of these bad Larrys? This is the goat candy, the best candy known to man. I do some crypto mining, and those multi-port chargers aren't meant for stuff that runs constant, which is crazy. Like, I don't understand why are they not good for that. I'm having another problem too with my phone, right? So I'm using that OBS camera app to connect to OBS, so I can use my phone's camera to just be as face cam because I don't really need anything else. My motherboard, it says that the two top USB ports are supposed to be ultra power. I don't know what ultra power means, but to me that means at least they can charge-ish. They can charge the phone fast-ish, not super fast, but it can't charge the phone faster than it drains while it's doing this camera app. So I bought this. Well, I had this before. This is the Sabrent. It's kind of like a power injector sort of thing, right? So it's a USB 3 hub, but it's powered, right? So you can turn on and off each plug. And it also provides, some amount of power. So this whole brick, 1 amp at 12 volts. So 12 amps. But, at least you could probably do at least a few amps. But this thing is such a pain in the butt because it'll say things like not enough power to load the thing. So like my what is it? The Camlink, the Elgato Camlink capture card thing doesn't like this. So like what is this for then? Just plug in a bunch of mice and that's what this is for. So I'm just annoyed with bad stuff. So I'm trying to just weed out all the bad stuff. So I don't know. I know that's a giant rant. I'm sorry about that, but all right. I've got some bonus stuff for the end. Oh, what else do I have? That was it. I ate some other candy. Oh, Feastables. I don't know if you guys saw my tweet too, but this is the first time I ever saw the Mr. Beast candy in store, and it's okay. It tastes like dark. It sort of like smells. It smells and tastes like dark chocolate, like baker's chocolate, like that's got like no sugar in it almost. But so if you like low sweet chocolate, then you might like that. Ho-hos for life. Peanut butter eggs are fire. Yeah. How many cats do I have? I have 2. I had 3 until one of them passed away, unfortunately. All right. I'm not a super expert when it comes to the background of HDCP. I'll give you the definition of it, and I'll give you what I think it was. Well, what some people have described it for. So it's HDCP. That's what we're dealing with. It stands for. I had to look under you because my entire screen is behind all this camera nonsense. Actually, I can put it over here. Okay, there we go. Stands for High Bandwidth Digital Content Protection. And I think it was used specifically on the PlayStation 3 because the PlayStation 3 was a Blu-ray, the first kind of Blu-ray player of the generation. And they were probably about the same price as a standalone Blu-ray player. So they were pretty popular at the time for Blu-ray, for playing Blu-rays. So Arthurus was telling me that that's probably the primary reason they basically, it's essentially a form of encryption so that if it's sort of weird because I have devices that, I think it's like anytime the PS3 detects a non-HDCP compatible device, but that's sort of like, it's an asterisk, so there's like air quotes around that. Because I don't understand, if your TV doesn't support HDCP, then maybe some don't and it doesn't work. I'm not really sure. So maybe there are some TVs that the raw PS3 doesn't. And actually, on that note, CEO mentioned, I think, maybe we could try to go directly into one of the capture cards or directly into my TV. Actually, maybe we'll do that first, but that's kind of difficult because then I have to turn around the camera, but that's fine. Is that a Fantex P500? Yep, this is a 500A. And I wouldn't buy this nowadays. For the price that I bought this, this was probably $70 or $80 when I bought it. I would buy the Montech, the thing I bought my Stream PC. Actually, I would buy the ARGB version of the Montech 903, whatever, 903, the Ultimate, or whatever the high end one is. That's $75, so it's it's about the same price or less, and it comes with 4 fans, and they're all RGB. Whereas this was only 3 fans. Actually, oh no, this is a P400A. I don't know, not sure. This is the smaller one. Be prepared to write these checks. What? I don't know. I think it's a P400, not the P300. I don't know. I'm not sure. The thing that annoys me with that case is, in order to take the glass off, you have to unscrew 4 screws. The Montech case, even though it is a cheaper, like it feels a little more flimsy, it has captive thumb screws, and the whole panel slides out the back. So I think it's a much better case in every way almost. It is flimsier, but for the money and for the how well it is, the design of it actually is better than this. So just my opinion. It forces a handshake to occur between the devices to allow the video signal to ensure the devices are following copy protection standards. Okay, so it's not necessarily about, because you can see some devices will say on them, like this thing says HDCP 2.2. I don't know, you guys can't probably see that because it's, here. So this thing says HDCP 2.2. Okay, so in my head, when I thought that, like that would mean it would be fine, right? Like it should pass through the encryption, but I think it's like the end device. If something detects that you're trying to copy it, which would be like a capture, or in some certain ways it's the scaler, like the RetroTink or the Morph, you're copying it, which is, I don't know, just probably some kind of a legal lingo. It just doesn't like it. So I suppose we can show what will happen. I have just the raw PS3, so I've got my PS3 still set up here. I'm going to plug just the straight HDMI port into it. So keep in mind now, well, maybe we'll talk about it. There is a setting, actually, you know what? A lot of devices lie, which is ironic because this thing that I just showed, so I've had this for a while. This is what I was using back when I just had, this is the View HD Ultra HD HDMI 1x2 splitter. And actually what I'll do is tonight I'll kind of add stuff to the list. I'll add some like affiliate links to the description, so that you guys can know what I recommend, I guess. It's ironic because this thing. No, sorry. Thing I just showed, on the description on the website and in the comments, it says like I searched for a HDCP stripper after I figured out that I needed a stripper, and it says that it doesn't. But that's a lie. So last week we found out, I thought that the Morph was doing stripping, like the Morph itself was doing HDCP stripping, because the Morph was plugged into the first output of this splitter. It turns out that it splits, or it does HDCP stripping on the first port. So the RetroTink was always getting the HDCP encryption error, but the Morph wasn't. So it's very weird. I thought that it was the Morph was doing something but it turns out that this device that I've had already did it. So I bought these other things, but we'll talk about what I recommend, I suppose. Yeah, the EasyCoo, I've got that. This the 4K version of it. I also have the okay. So I'll this is kind of a shootout, although I hate that term shootout, but this is sort of a shootout of this 4 things that I've got. So I showed you that I already have the View HD. They also call it U9. It's like the same company. So the U9 is really the company name, but it's the View HD. View HD is like the product, or the product line or something. So this is the 4K View HD splitter. But I also have the 1080p version of the View HD splitter. So it's kind of the same thing, a little bit smaller form factor, 2 outputs and 1 input. So it'll just, basically all these splitters do is whatever you have in the input, it just duplicates through the outputs. So that's what I was using the 4K version to power both the Morph and the RetroTink 4K for every stream that you saw up until I got up until now, basically. you were seeing that, which is why I was confused and the morph was acting fine through the PS3. So I have both of the View HDs. I have the EasyCoo 4K splitter, so it's the same thing, right? And it even has, this one is USB power delivery one. Actually, I'll have to find a USB cable for this. And then I also have the O-Ray, is how you pronounce it according to their own documentation. The O-Ray, I believe this is 1080p one, but this on paper is supposed to do it. And this is only $10. All those other ones are about $20. All right, so let's fire up. Actually, I wanted to create a scene that had all three. We're gonna cycle through because I want to make sure that anything that I recommend is gonna work with every one of these scalars from here on out until I don't have the OSSC Pro anymore. So we'll start with the morph, right? We'll just have that on screen. One thing, actually, before I do that, I wanted to. I don't know if this setting actually does anything. So here, there's actually a web interface for the Extron DXP, and you can actually set the inputs and outputs. I think this might actually be the same for the Crosspoint, but I don't really use this much for my Crosspoint, but I used it now for the DXP. And the reason I'm telling you about this screen, so you can switch the inputs and outputs if you want to, but you'll notice here in input adjustments, if you kind of look, there's a column that says HDCP authorized. So we're also going to mess with that setting too, because I believe that does something funky. And I'll show you that. So what I'm going to do is let's boot up the PlayStation 3. This is not being stripped or anything, so this is kind of raw HDMI input. Excuse me. It's going into the Extron, and then it's going out to all three of these scalars, and we'll just cycle through all three of them. My camera's going nuts. Sorry about that. I don't have the newest firmware on anything. I haven't updated. Oh, newest PS3 firmware, you mean? It is relatively up to date. I have a custom firmware on it, and it's relatively up to date. I have not updated any firmwares on anything other than that. I know I can easily update with Wi-Fi the morph, but my bad. I mean, I think that, I'm not sure if a firmware is going to be like, oh, you can disable HDCP now. So my bad, firmware police. I'm sorry. I didn't have a lot of time this weekend because of Easter. Okay, so let's see what this did. So again, I remember I have this HDCP authorized option unchecked. So I don't know, and I'm on input 2, I believe, over here. This is what's displaying. So if we switch to the morph, it's not getting anything. Actually, let me verify that we're going into that input. So here's that. I gotta feel around in here. It's weird to say. Okay, so I want to say that the oh, you know what? Actually, I think this plug is the first one. Okay, never mind. I'm in the wrong. I have to be in input 1. So I'll switch the Extron to input 1 from input 2, and we'll see what it does. Stellar Blade. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm interested in that, playing that. I mean, you guys probably don't care, but okay. So here is what, at least this is what the morph does. It just does black screen when it detects HDCP. Okay, so that's what the morph does. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll better restart. Sometimes when I set the settings on that thing, it kind of gets goofy. Okay, let's restart the PS3. Sometimes when I change the settings on the Extron, so we should get not this. Well, I have a PS5 yet. I don't have a HDMI 2.1 scaler. Well, this is not what I expected to happen, but that's fine. What does the OSSC Pro do? I have to switch the OSSC Pro to the HDMI input. So if we go to menu, input selection, and then AV4. Okay. I think this is the expectation, is that it just black screens also. But the RetroTink, which is, maybe I'll power cycle the RetroTink, see what it does. Because sometimes it does different stuff when you power cycle it. I don't know. All right, boot up. It should say HDCP detected, which I wish all of them did that. Well, it's possible that it's because wow, we're off to a great start. Amazing start, everyone. Amazing start. Wow. I have no signal on this. What the? Okay, well, we're going to reboot the morph, too. The morph should black screen. That's what it should do, from what I'm aware of. But the RetroTink. So I'm curious now if the Extron is doing something weird. Oh, God, really? This is my life. Okay, well, that's fine. You know what? Maybe we'll skip to the expectation when it is stripped. So essentially, it doesn't... it won't let you play the game, really at all. It just kind of... I have to download it and install the game. You guys are so thirsty. Okay. We're going to turn the PS3 off. I'm going to keep saying PS5 now. We're going to turn the PS3 off. I have a bench cam. Look at this, too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Woo. We're going to unplug this, and we're going to plug it into the 4K View HD splitter that I had already. So, and you'll notice that it's just going to... So I'm going to put the... Oh, mother. This is going to be the HDMI in. That's not why it wasn't working. We're going to put the... So basically, this thing is not going to be used as a splitter at all, right? So this is just going to be used as an in and an out, and in the first input only. Only the first input does. I'm saying this because I think I know that this is going to work, whereas the other ones I'm not so sure if both ports do it or not. But I know the first port on this one does the stripping. This is it's got a few scratches, but yeah, I like the slim. The slim model is one of my favorites. I mean, I appreciate that the first gen PS3s do backwards compat and stuff, but yeah, I've got the other console, so it doesn't really bother me. All right, let's see what happens now. Just gonna do squat diddly. All right, so I have the View HD thing. I don't really know if these settings in the front matter, but I have this tape over it also because these lights are incredibly blinding. I have this EDID switch. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but this EDID switch in the front here is set to output 1. So this will just ignore, well, it won't ignore it, but it uses whatever the EDID detects coming from the second or the first port as the only EDID, I suppose. So if you had a second thing connected, it would ignore that, the EDID of that, and it would just say, okay, 1080p or whatever, 720 or I don't know. I'm not sure what the Extron would detect it as. PS1, PS2 isn't that great. Oh, also sneak preview. I don't remember their Twitter handle, but somebody developed a delidding tool for the GPU, the PS3 GPU. So they're gonna send me one, and I'm gonna test it. I don't think I'm gonna test it on this console. I want to test it on a different console first before I don't mess this one up. But that's kind of weird. I never delidded anything. So, all right. So I'm just proof of life that this thing is on. Now let's switch to the morph. If this doesn't work, I'm just going to turn the stream off. We're thirsty for better content. Well, I do my best. You don't have to watch. You can go watch something else. All right, so let's turn on the PS3. Oh my God, it worked. Hooray. Okay, I was about to throw everything in my room if this didn't work. Okay, so this is what the stripper basically allows you to do is like lets the PS3 act normal. Okay, so you saw before I was kind of having problems. It wasn't 100% my expectation, but so now since we're going through the Extron, oh really? So this might be the same problem I was having the other day with the RetroTink. I might have to try a different power supply. See, this is what was happening. It was just outputting nothing, whereas the Morph and the OSSC Pro are getting the signal, right? No problem. And then the RetroTink 4K. And what ended up changing it was I switched to a different power supply. So that's going to be kind of difficult because I don't have any more off the top of my head. I don't have any new ones yet, or any other replacement ones. So let me just power cycle it one more time, I guess. Wobbling Pixels knows my frustration because I was going through this the other day. I'll power cycle it again. Okay, see, sometimes it is the power supply. So I don't really like that USB power delivery power supply either. So I guess take this, it should work with the RetroTink. I just have a not great power supply for it. So really this is what we should expect. Just for ha-has, let's see if the web streaming thing is working. Oops, let's go to it really doesn't matter. I just choose the first one to see if it loads anything. I just need it to load. Before it errored sometimes, so I don't know. We'll see. What the hell is happening? Okay, well the OSSC Pro is choking on this. Morph. Okay, all right, so it's working. So this is loading ISO through the network, so that's kind of neat. All right, so it's working okay. Press the start button. Okay, I did. Okay, there we go. This game takes a long time to load. Watch it won't. I just want to see anything. Oh, let me turn this off. Let's get into the game. So let me turn this down a bit. So the problem with the PS3 is it takes a very long time to load stuff. Maybe we'll just skip this part. Let's see, does the Tink work? So that's the, okay, the OSSC stopped choking on it. The RetroTink is okay. And the Morph is okay. That weird scanning, I think, was part of the game. If you guys noticed that thing went by, it was not. Okay, so it's working all right. How do I run in this game? Oh, there you go. Woo! All right, so we have it working. Okay, I'm just in the very beginning of the game. All right, so I guess that's pretty much it. If this is all you came for, know that it's a very easy way to get by. I recommend, we'll test the other ones. There is one other one. I mean, so these two, again, so the one I'm just showing you now, the View HD, the U9/View HD 4K splitter one is like $20, so it's pretty affordable. And that's the same cost as both the 4K EasyCoo one and the O-Ray 1080 one. So these are all about like $20 to $25. Oh no, I lied. The O-Ray one is $10. So if the $10 O-Ray one works, then I would probably recommend this one. But I've already kind of tested this one already, and it kind of doesn't work. But we'll go through them all again. So I want to go through all four of these ones to see. I would just get the 4K one, the 4K View HD one. But we'll go through the other ones. Load Stellar Blade. Okay, you guys need to shut up with that stuff. 720 versus 1080. Yeah, so unfortunately I only have a 1080p capture card for the OSSC Pro, so Dead or Alive 5. I'm not sure if I have any of those games. So I think I also probably want to power off the PS3 after loading it already. I think it needs to be off before all this stuff loads. We're going to swap out the View HD splitter. So we know this one works. And I have to keep track of the power supplies too because I don't know if they're any different. So this is what I was talking about. So this one works fine. That's the one I already had. I didn't have to buy it. So now let's just go to the next one up. Actually, does this have the same power supply? What is with things not showing the type of power supply they need? So I'm going to get the power supply for the 1080p View HD one, which is kind of silly because it's the same cost as the 4K one, so just buy the 4K one. But I suppose if you only want 1080p, sure. Oh, no. Oh, it's over here. Oh, fuck. Where is this thing? Oh, here it is. Here's the here's the, So again, same thing. I'm just going to switch. Let's go to the top-down one. I'm going to switch out the output going to the Extron. So that's going to go into output 1. For the sake of similarity or whatever, you know, for the sake of evenness, I'm going to put them all into just output 1. We're going to assume that output 1 is the HDCP port. This one's kind of weird because all the ports are on different sides, so it's not like you can easily put this into your AV cabinet, right? I guess you can tuck it away, but if you want it visible or something, already this one wins more because everything is in the back, the one I just was doing before. So this one is kind of awkward, but we'll give it a whirl. Oh God, it's not gonna reach, is it? All right, plug it in. Got it. Any chance you have Drakengard 3? I'm not sure. I just for the PS3 stream, I just downloaded the top 100 games, so that's what I had. Hentai game recommendation. I don't have any hentai game recommendations for the PS3. Actually, I don't recommend the PS3 at all. Just my 2 cents. Okay, let's try this now. So let's go to the morph. I'm not sure what's happening, but it's on. Looks like we have output. Let's see what it does. Is anything giving it an output? Okay, the retro tank says no signal. The morph is just doing nothing. It's in La La Land. Okay, no signal now. OCC Pro. Okay, so it seems to be right away working in all 3. So that's cool. So maybe a little less finagling, but yeah, I'm not sure if that means anything. So that's fine. So we're into this one. So just for my curiosity, I have my Amazon history up. So let me tell you the prices of these. Just quickly, because I don't really care. I don't even want to put, I don't need affiliate link stuff, but because I just want to recommend you stuff that you guys are gonna. Holy cow! Okay. Oh wait, never mind. That's the EasyCoo. So right now, this 1080p View HD, I'm just getting it. I'm sorry, I'm not showing you guys my Amazon history. It's kind of unhinged, but all the crap that I buy. Okay, this one is currently there's a sale. It's $22 for this 1080p View HD one. This one. So versus what was the 4K one? So this is the 4K one here. This 4K one was. Let me just type it in View HD. Okay, currently this View HD. The 4K one is $17 or $18. So this is the one I would get. It has, for me, for my setup at least, it has better port layout. Everything's on the back, so that's nicer in a cabinet or something. If you have it in your rack or something, you don't have ports coming on both sides, and it's cheaper. And it's 4K. So like, let's say you wanted to not use this as an HDCP stripper anymore, you could just use this as a splitter. And for 4K, the streaming stuff. So this is what I would recommend. This is $18 right now, so far of the 2 that I tested. Okay, do I have Near Automata? No, I'm not sure. Listen to Extrems. Do you have the Idolmaster 2? I don't know what that is. Idolmaster 1 for All. I don't even know what those are. Let me Google it. Idolmaster. I don't have every possible HDCP stripper. Oh my God, is this a game? I told you guys, I just Googled the top 100 games, so it's not going to include any weird. Not that anime is weird, but is that a hentai game? Oh brother. Okay, well, we're gonna stop. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia now. Thanks a lot. What is a raising simulator? Oh, it's a virtual pet game. That actually sounds kind of cool. Interesting. No, I don't have that game. Okay. I figured it was a game, but I didn't know what kind of game. It's like this is just a low-key hentai game or something. But, you know, I'm not against that kind of stuff, but I can't stream that to YouTube right now. So, again, this thing, while it does work, the 1080p View HD one, it has 0 point. There's no reason to buy this. Don't buy this. So let's get it out. The newer one, the 4K one, is cheaper. And it does the same exact thing, and you can repurpose it for something else. So that's an F for this. It works, but yeah, don't. All right, I guess what? EasyCoo next. Although that one's kind of difficult because I need to find the right power supply. So let's do the O-Ray one next. This is the cheapest one. This was like $10 when I bought it the other day. So that's the input, goes in here. They're also, just for your reference, there were no settings at all on the switch on this one. There was no buttons or any kind of switching or like switches on the outside. So I just figured this one has that EDID switch, the 4K one. This one doesn't have any of that. Which, you know, is probably less of an issue when you have just the 1080p device, but yeah. So let me get the O-Ray power supply. Man, the the mailman's gonna hate, or the UPS person's gonna hate me when I come back with like 13 packages of just stuff I'm returning. Now, again, here I'm in a situation where I've got a USB port thing that I've got to find another charger for, and they're probably not going to work well. So, do I have anything? So I have a 1 amp. I have a 1 amp Apple charger. So I don't think this O-Ray thing is going to be that much power. So I think 1 amp is going to do it, but we'll find out. We care. You guys just look. You can look at the list in a second. All right, just Jesus. That'll tell you all the games that I've got. Well, you know what's interesting? Well, okay, maybe I shouldn't talk about this, but I'm a software developer. That's my job. My real job. I was trying to find a way to, let's just say, organize my game files from my NAS, so they're all in zip files on my NAS. And I'm trying to write a program that will let me, it's like, let's say I acquire another game in a zip format, and I want to move it to a different folder or different network share. So like I have an 8 terabyte hard drive in this streaming computer here. So let's say I wanted to unpack and move a game file to this share, but only the new ones in that folder. I'm writing a little program that will run 7-zip and unpack it. So yeah. Stay on target. Okay, so what did I do? I plugged in the O-Ray. Did I plug it in? Oh, okay. So the O-Ray also doesn't have any. Oh, I didn't plug in the output. Output 1 again. Remember, keeping it the same. Oh, the O-Ray has a. Before I use it, the O-Ray has a copy/auto. I'm assuming that's for the EDID. And I'm not. Oh, I'm gonna turn the PS3 off again. I'm not sure which one it should be on, so I'm just gonna leave it to auto. Let's see what that does. No, I didn't get that far, Devin. Devin is talking about. I had an issue with testing when I was testing to see if the RetroTink liked the Extron DXP. The Stellar Xbox was giving me the worst problems, even after I figured out the issue with the power supply that I talked about earlier. Output 2 for you. Okay, so let me try output 1 first, because if it only works on one output or the other, that's kind of scummy, but you know, it's fine. You can just try both. But this didn't work for me at first in output port 1. So let's see if it works now. I don't know why it would change. So let's turn the PS3 on again. Let's go to the morph. Oh, I also said that I was going to show you what those HDCP authorized switches in the Extron did. See, we're getting black screen, but still the RetroTink is not giving me the HDCP warning. I don't know what is happening with that. Normally it's supposed to. So I don't think port 1 is happy. Excuse me. My program is a long one, line bash command that does a for loop on all the files and unzips. Yeah, I wanted to get kind of sophisticated with it, Brandon. So like, there's a standalone, I'm a C# developer, so .NET, and there is a library for .NET, but I found that the standalone 7-zip command line utility works way better. So you can do things like you can examine what files are in the, hold on guys. So you can examine what files are in a zip, and it doesn't have to be a 7-zip file. It can also be a zip file. So 7-zip works great. Like the command line will work for .gzp or whatever the like Linux variant of zip. And like tar files and zip files and 7z files, so it works with all those. But you can search an archive for any files that start with ISO, so I can get all the names of all the files that begin with ISO. Then I can examine the output directory to see if that game already exists in the output directory, and if it does, then ignore it and then delete the archive. So I wanted to make a nice little not a GUI, but like a command line utility that would do that automatically. It would like look in the output directory to see if it already had any zip files that it didn't clean up yet, clean them up, and then move new file. And so I'm like halfway through that right now, so it's kind of fun, but it's a pain in the butt to kind of Google all those things. Okay, so the port 1 didn't work, so let's try port 2. WinZip and FileZilla have command line functions because they are used for batch processing. Yeah, and I'm sure other modern languages probably do stuff, but you can like capture the output, because normally if you run the 7-zip command prompt, it spits back the output in the command prompt window. But with .NET, you can capture it. You can capture the output outside of the command line, like, and then use. Actually, this is a really cool use for. Okay, I'm switching the port to port 2. You can use, I used ChatGPT actually to give me a regex string. So I had the output from 7-zip, so I was searching an archive for like 3 ISOs. I was just doing a test. And I had the big output from the 7-zip command line. I had the text, so I copied it. I pasted it to ChatGPT, and I said, can you write me a regex that gets me the line that starts with, it was like path or whatever was the line, the beginning of the line, and ends with, it was like a carriage return or something. So give me a regex that will find all lines that begin with that. And then so it gave me that. And then I said, okay, now give me the same output, but ignore the path. So don't include the path equals part. I just want the name of the file. Give me that. And then just the way that the 7-zip output works, I said, okay, skip the first one because the first line is the name of the archive. And it was like, fine, it was perfect. So that's kind of cool use of ChatGPT. All right, so we're in port 2 now. So let's see if it strips it. What list did you use? I used Metacritic. I ignored all the any sports games also. So I don't have any sports games from that. Like the hockey and the basketball games and stuff. Not that I have anything against those. I don't really care to have a bunch of copies of the same thing. Yeah, it was Metacritic. Okay, so again, so far this array thing is not working. Let's try a different. Nope. So I'm wondering if the hardware, they changed the hardware over time. I use ChatGPT all the time to assist with figuring out PowerShell tricks, and yeah, regex, yep. It's cool. Like there's things I did not know at all. Like if you know anything about regex, you pretty much forget all that you knew about regex the next time you have to do anything with it. So I didn't know that there was a what is it called, like look ahead, or like it allows you to skip a certain part of the regex included in the string that you return. So like I said, it included it in the detection, that path equals thing, but I did not want it in the string that it returned. I know if you're not a programmer, you probably are like, what the hell are these people talking about? But so I don't know. This is not working. This array one. This was. Does anybody else have a different experience with this array, the 1080p one? Because this was a fail for me. Even though it was the cheapest one, it was $10. Okay, let's try flipping the switch. Sure. Let's go back to. I'll leave it in port 2. I'll flip the switch to copy. We're copying some HDCP. That'd be funny if that's all it was that stupid switch. Ooh! Doing something. Nope, black screen. Still don't have the HDCP error in RetroTink 4K either. I feel like a bit of an idiot, right? Like, it's not just Reddit. It's not just regex too. Like, if you're a programmer in a specific language, like at least with .NET changes. Like C#, the C# language gets updated all the time, right? There's new versions of it, and so like, and usually if you are in a job, like you don't often completely change the version of the language that you're using. You don't like oh, you know, C# 11 is out now or whatever, let me update. Like, you don't do that because you can't mess with other people. And there's way newer features, like just all kinds of crazy stuff. So I'm like blowing my own mind, kind of experimenting with new stuff, but I don't know. So let's try one last thing. We'll try port 1 with this copy button, but I say this array thing is a bust, which is unfortunate because it was the cheapest at $10. I wanted this to be the winner. It makes my head hurt. Well, restart it again. All right, while I'm restarting it, let me boot it into port 1. I hate how that's the fix for the RetroTink. Is just turn it off and on again. I have to have it on a smart. I'm not. Again, it could be problems with the power supply. It could be a lot of different things. Not to say that the RetroTink, but the RetroTink seems to be the most picky of all of them when it comes to power stuff. No, I think this array thing just, or it's possible that maybe that there's multiple hardware revisions or something. The meshes, I've restarted it a bunch of times now. Do I have to, is there something I have to do maybe in the menu? Oh, so actually, maybe now is a good time to show this. So remember I was talking about the HDCP authorized button thing here in the Extron. So if I check that, I'll just do it for both, whatever. If I check that, let's turn it off. I notice that makes things worse, everything worse. So I've unplugged it. I don't really like. Okay, I wish I had the. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to the known good, this U9 stripper. So I'll plug this in instead. This is the input. This is the output, and I checked that HDCP authorized checkbox. So to me, that would be like, okay, you know, pass through HDCP, but we're going through a stripper, right? This is the stripper. Okay, so we're going through the stripper, into the Extron, and then into the capture cards. So now, let's see what happens to the outputs. I hope it does what I think it's going to do. That'd be funny if it didn't do what I thought it was going to do. This, right? For some reason, the Extron, I don't know if it knows that this is still HDCP encrypted and just like, nope. It hard nopes out, but it has this bright green screen that blocks it. Oh my god! Of course. Okay. The one time that I wanted the RetroTink to be the same as the other ones, it is the opposite. Oh my god, that is crazy. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. More green. That is funny as hell. Okay, so that HDCP authorized button there in the Extron menu disables HDCP or something, and somehow it can tell through the stripper that there's HDCP stuff going on. I don't know what that means. So that is funny. I don't know what to say about that, guys. That is hilarious. But as you can see, this is what the RetroTink 4K should do. So it doesn't black screen like the other ones do. So I don't know why it's getting a green screen to the Extron, but it shouldn't shouldn't green screen. It should black screen on the Morph and the OSSC Pro. But the Troubleshooting 4K shows you that warning message, and it kind of pixelates the image. So this is what I posted on Twitter. That people were like, "Are you playing a PS1 game?" When it was PS3, it was just the green. What is the green? Oh, is that a joke from something else? Is that a joke from me? I don't remember. So, anyways, I just yeah, it outputs green. It's the problem is the Extron. For some reason, it's that setting, that HDCP authorized setting. Because if I turn the PS3 off, and then I uncheck that setting, so let me. So then I uncheck that HDCP authorized setting for it's only input one, but I did both. I don't have to save anything, it just kind of auto saves with that part. Then I switch back to the Morph. So it should work now because we're going through the good known HDCP stripper. And this should work. Watch it not work. I'm gonna yeet everything if this doesn't work. It also could be the power supply, maybe, of the array that I was using. Okay, this worked. Good. Thank goodness. I know something in this world. Sometimes these things make me second guess everything I've ever done in life when it doesn't work. So, I don't know. That HDCP auth, if you're having problems with an Extron DXP with the PS3, actually, maybe one person who was telling me about this, there's a web interface thing that you can do to control the Extron. He was saying that the PS3 didn't like the Extron DXP. I bet you it's this HDCP authorized option. So that's a weird thing. If you have one of these DXPs, you need to disable that thing, even if you have a stripper for PS3 specifically. So, okay, resolution is better now. So the array is a definite no. Don't buy that either. So we're slowly weeding away things that I recommend. So don't buy the 1080p array. That's a no, unfortunately. I wanted that to win because that was the cheapest one. All right, the last option. Actually, I have some other things. We'll see how much time I've got. Let's see, what time is it now? 10:03. So I have some other things that we can talk about or we could do, but I want to go through the EasyCoo. So everybody loves this, well, not everybody, but I mean this EasyCoo brand. I didn't really know about it, but I guess Bob, or maybe it was My Life in Gaming. Maybe they recommend this EasyCoo brand, but it's a 4K splitter, 2.0, not 2.1, 2.0. So we'll try this, but I have to find a power supply somewhere in my pile of crap. Oh, let me just look on the floor for a power or USB cable. My room is an absolute mess. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so I did actually score a power cable. I need to find I hope I want that 1 amp 1 amp Apple charger will work. Or there'll be an Excel spreadsheet. I just won't include the ones that I don't recommend. So far, it's just this one View HD, and I'll put a link. I'll put an affiliate link of it, in a minute in the description, because that's the only one I recommend so far. Because it's 4K, so it's kind of not future-proof, but it's good for other circumstances. If you wanted, if you change your mind, you don't need it for HDCP splitting, but you want to use it for something else, for going to 2 different scalars. If you have infinite money or something, then you can do that. All right, so let's plug this in. It does have a bunch of kind of scary looking options. So there's this in the front. There's a dip switch for scalar. So some of these splitters can actually downscale 4K to 1080p, I think, so that they both of the outputs are both 1080p, but it's off right now. I think that's what it is. Oh yeah, look, see, scalar 4K 1080p. So I think that downscales from 4K to 10, or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe I don't think it upscales, but then there's the EDID thing again. But this is for different types of surround sound. So I think I'm just going to use copy. So let's try this. Let's plug it in. This is also about 20 bucks, but it's still more expensive than the Oh, people were yelling at were saying not to hot plug HDMI cables, and whoops. I'll hot plug stuff for you guys to test it out. To see if you should hot plug stuff or not. At least HDMI cables. I know you're not supposed to hot plug like SATA cables and IDE. Don't do that. All right, so we're in the EasyCoo. Is it on? Ugh, there's no light on, so that means it might not be. Oh, there's a light on. Okay, we're good. All right, so this is through port 1. Didn't change any of the settings. Bob recommends the EasyCoo. Got one, and it's excellent for downscaling. Oh, that's cool. Interesting. I guess that'd be cool if you did have, like, let's say you bought a newer console or something, and you only had an older 1080p TV. It'd be probably a good way to do it. A good way to get around having to do it. You had to change the EDID to get it to work. Okay, we'll have to see. I had issues with it both enabled and disabled with PS3. What are you talking about, Nathan? All right, so let's turn the console on, and then we'll go to capture. The OSSC is freaking out. The OSSC doesn't like the OSSC Pro goes absolutely bonkers with the Extron. Like the front screen, it flickers and it goes nuts. Like it's like searching for the resolution. Oh, hey, it works right away. Oh, wait a minute. It's possible that the power. Yeah, I can read the screen. Oh, you know what? Is this an EDID thing? Wait, what is happening? Okay, I'm trying to turn my controller on and go to... What? This has never shown up before. Huh. Why did it... What? I don't know what that screen is. That's crazy. That's weird. I don't know. Never seen that before. Okay, the RetroTink doesn't like this, whatever this is, and the OSSC doesn't like whatever this is. Let me... I guess I'll try to power cycle the RetroTink. I don't love that that's what you have to do sometimes to fix these black screen issues. So far, the Morph has been the most solid with just accepting it. But, you know, that's not necessarily a... There's still a lot of things. Okay, right away it works, so that's fine. I tried the Extron DXP HDCP stuff on and off with the PS3. I didn't have a stripper device. Yeah, so that HDCP authorized thing, I thought at first it might be a built-in stripper in the Extron, but it's some kind of weird lock, like hard lock. Like if it notices anything, I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm gonna guess that it just kind of guesses that there's something going on here with HDCP and it nopes out. All right, I'll reboot the OSSC Pro as well. See what that does. Yeah, I've never seen that screen at all, Vinny. That's weird. Okay, so now I've got to select. Oh, I've got to turn the OSSC Pro also doesn't auto turn on. I mean, maybe there's a setting for it, but by default it doesn't. Which is not a bit, you know, it's not the end of the world, but yeah, the OSSC doesn't like this. That's interesting. I'll give it one more full restart, and I'll unplug the EasyCoo, and I'll plug it back in again. It also could be a weird thing between the Extron. Oh man, it's freaking out. All right, let me switch away because that's kind of giving me an aneurysm. What is happening? Sorry if you're what is it called? Epileptic. I'm sorry. Actually, there's a button I can choose studio mode that lets me preview it. Yep, the OSSC is just kind of barfing at this. Oh, I didn't turn the PS3 on. That's why I derp. Wow, that was my bad. Let's give it one more try. It's still flickering, and that's a problem with the OSSC Pro and the Extron. Oh my God, the RetroTink is giving a hard time too. The Morph just fires through. Let me turn this off. Turn the studio mode off. So the morph just handled it. The RetroTink is giving this, and the OSSC Pro is doing nothing. Let's try to finagle with the settings. Maybe we have to turn on one of those. Maybe we have to turn on one of those. That surround sound setting. So it's on. It was on copy. Let's put it on 4. Let's put it on 4K 7.1. So that's the surround sound. Maybe it forces the DXP to more easily handshake with these. Yeah, it might. It might like. It could like still pass through some kind of HDCP flag or something, and if the Extron detects that, it just nopes out of it altogether. Like an extra layer of security or something. Something specific to 3D. Oh, interesting. So maybe the EasyCoo is giving some other kind of EDID info that is not really there. I wish I had. Does anybody know of like an HDMI sniffer, like that's affordable? Oh, hey, First Slayer, you like trains? I'm glad. Okay, again, the morph did it. The RetroTink just barfed it up, and then the OSSC Pro is just black screen. This is not the turnout that I was expecting. I was expecting at least some of these other things to work. So far, the VUHD, both the VUHD devices have worked. I'm not a sponsor or anything, so I'm just surprised. The Tink is outputting an aperture grill still. Oh yeah, it's just kind of like smushed in there, huh? So the morph is just has been the most stable out of all of them with this nonsense that I've got. I guess I'll just have a disclaimer in general. Just because I say something works or doesn't work, you also have to test it in your setup. Also, why I sort of recommend stuff from Amazon, right? If I'm going to recommend anything, I'm probably going to recommend stuff from Amazon, just because, I'm not like anti-Amazon. Actually, I don't love Amazon, but Amazon is great. I use it a lot. Other than, I am an Amazon affiliate, so this is kind of biased in general, but their return policy is pretty good. I mean, you have like a month, usually maybe sometimes more. Like during the holidays, they give you like 2 months to return stuff. So if you buy something and then you use it for a couple of months and then you decide that it's not good anymore or it stops working, just return it, and it's great. Like I have not had a problem yet with somebody saying or Amazon saying anything. I don't mean get something, smash it, and then return it, or get something, switch it out with something else like they do with HD Retrovision, but like it beats having to wait. Like if you buy something from AliExpress and it takes 10 days, at least for me it takes about 10 to 12 days to get stuff, and then if it doesn't work, then what? I mean, I guess you can try to see if they'll do a return, but I've heard kind of horror stories about people getting stuck with stuff and not being able to return stuff. So even if it is cheaper from AliExpress and it may work still, I just prefer Amazon. That's all. It might be more expensive, but in this case, it's $20 for a thing. EDID communicated with the display to let the device know the resolutions are compatible. Bob had reviewed an HD Fury device that could tell you what the HDMI device was sending, but it wasn't cheap and not very consumer friendly. Okay. Can I pull up the menu on the Tink? Okay, yeah. So it detects 1080p, which is that what the menu, the PS3 menu is outputting? If EDID is on a splitter, that means it's changing the signal. So either the source device or TV thinks something else is coming in. It's possible that the okay. So it's possible that the EasyCoo might be like changing. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna mess with the scalar setting. I didn't mess with that. It's possible that having that scalar setting to off, the EasyCoo might just shove it in 4K mode. So let me try that. So I'll turn the PS3 off. Let me turn EDID back to copy, because I don't think it has anything to do with surround sound. And I'm going to turn the scalar to on, because this is a 1080. I think is the menu on the PS3 1080p, probably. If that's the case, then it wouldn't do any scaling. But I wonder if the EasyCoo is like just overriding the EDID with 4K or something, which is, it would definitely confuse the Extron because the Extron is only a 1080p device. Power cycle the splitter. Oh, I could do that. Let's try this first. I plugged it in the scale setting. I don't have another, unfortunately. I'll need to just do I'll have to do a shootout with, oh, that's the morph. I'll have to do a shootout with USB plugs as well, because there's got to be a better way. Ooh, wait, I have one on the floor. I have another. Okay, it's 5 volts, 2 amps. Okay, that's good. This has more amps. So let me plug the EasyCoo into the 2 amp USB. Maybe it doesn't have enough juice, which is 2 amps for a freaking switcher. That's a lot. But yeah, I don't know. All right, we'll give it one more try. So I just power cycled the splitter. X and B is 1080p. Yes. Okay. Interesting. It's, what the heck is the resolution? 1080p. Okay. So I don't know, man. This is kind of a fail. This EasyCoo. Okay, the OSSC Pro got it. The Morph got it, but the Tink, let me power cycle the Tink, I guess. Give it one try. Maybe it's the power cables that I'm using. I did order some better power cable, USB cables, but they're not coming until next week. Not better. I mean, the ones I'm using right now are good, but different ones, I suppose. Wow, look at that. It's just a power cycle and it worked. Okay, so does that mean the scaler, the downscale setting worked then with the EasyCoo? I suppose. Let me try it one more time with the EasyCoo and the better USB power supply, but I'm going to try all the settings on the default settings. So EDID or scaler off on both outputs, and the EDID thing is on copy. Let's see if it was just the power supply that was not good. That would be funny if it was that. Stupid power supply, USB power supplies. Holy shit. Are you serious? Okay, the answer to everything tonight is just the power supply. The USB power supplies suck. Dude, ugh. Absolutely insane. All right, well, I'm going to have to buy a whole bunch of USB power supplies and do a shootout for those too. See which ones are okay. I don't really have a way of determining like the actual output. I wish Zach, maybe Zach's could do that better than I can, because he's a kind of a power output guy. Like he has ways of measuring the actual goodness or whatever of the actual electricity coming out. But in this particular case, it seems like at least you need a 2 amp or something. All the USB power supplies that I've got now that are plugged in are at least 2 amps each. So you can't just use a normal, like if you got a bunch of iPhone 1 amp things, you can't use those for any of this stuff. At least I wouldn't even bother, because that could be causing you instability. I'm sitting now. Hey. I'm taking a mini break. I have some other things that we can talk about, but I hope nothing gets ripped out here. I just lowered my desk. Using the USB ports on your PC. Some of them do have high-powered USB ports. I mean, like, not like 45 watts or something, but you could have a couple amp, 2 amp or something output. It depends on the port. Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. So I don't know. It could be the power of my house. It could just be specifically they didn't like the Apple charger. But I would think that Apple would have, well, some of you, if you're Android fanboys, you might say that these are junk, but I don't know. This is only 1 amp, so I would not recommend these things. So I don't know. I ordered some Anker. They're like 3 amps in this same form factor. They're those GAN chargers. So I ordered some of those. So it looks like the EasyCoo works fine if you have a 2 amp power supply on the default settings. So that would be the upscaling off and EDID on copy, and it worked. Isn't the Tink a low power device? PS3. This Tink, you need at least 2 amps. I think it's on the website. I'd have to verify that, but it's very finicky with not good power supplies. So I'm talking about the RetroTink 4K. Maybe the older one, the 5X, it might be okay on a lower powered one. Alonus 40 watt 4-port charging block on Amazon seems to be good. I honestly would not recommend any multi-port things. Like I said, this is an Anker. This is like a 6-port Anker charger. I mean, it's on paper. It says it does 2 amps on each, or 2.5 amps, I guess. The entire brick can do 12 amps. And it said on unfortunately there's no picture on it, so this thing is stupid. But let me bring it up on Amazon quickly. Just to show you what I'm talking about. God, okay, wait a minute. Anchor. So this is what I bought. I'll open that, and this is what I have, and it's fail. All right, so let me put my conclusions. I'll put affiliate links, which, you know, that gives me a commission if you purchase anything, but it doesn't cost you anymore. So I think you guys know the spiel on this stuff. Hopefully this doesn't. So this is what I bought, this thing, and it doesn't work. As soon as you try to plug multiple things into it, it basically will not. It doesn't work well. So that's just, I don't know. Do Android fanboys still exist? Yeah, you'd be surprised. I mean, people are particular about anything. I mean, I wouldn't particularly say that I'm an Apple fanboy, but I've only ever used iPhones, so yeah. So I bought this thing, and I figured that, I mean, it has a 25,000 5-star reviews, so I figured it was decent, but it's not good for this case where you've got a bunch of retro stuff, bunch of scalars or something, and you need a bunch of USB-C. I would not get this, because at least as far as the RetroTink 4K is concerned, it doesn't like this device. So I bought these. These, I think they're GAN, right? Oh, maybe they're not GAN. GAN meaning they're that new type of charger that is like, it allows these devices to be small form factor. Okay, maybe it's not GAN. Anyways, it's got, these are like 3 amps. Oh, I didn't realize that they were Type C. Oh, that means I'm going to have to buy Type C to Type C cables. Well, I have some already, so that's fine. Shoot, that's annoying. But each of these, it said somewhere. Here, it says 5 volts, 3 amps. I know it might be small on your screens, but 5 volts, 3 amps. So this should be more than enough for the RetroTink and the Morph and everything. But the Morph, I mean, honestly, the Morph is killing it with just taking abuse. I don't know if there's like additional power filtration or something. I'm not sure. I don't know enough about it to have an opinion about it. Android fanboys are insufferable. I hope that all you guys that are talking about Android fanboys aren't like Apple fanboys in disguise. That's funny. Well, the charger I picked up is working for charging various controllers. Okay, yeah, I feel confident that it's fine for like phones. If you got a bunch of phones or if you want to use it to charge stuff. I don't know what about it is bad though. RPi 5 power supply is known to be good too. Okay, I'll have to look into. You're an Apple fan. Well, okay, fan person. Sorry, let's keep it ambiguous. I guess I'll have to order a bunch of things, man. I hate to do that too. I hate to spend money on things, but it's gonna come up. I don't know what circumstance. Who's gonna have all 3 scalars and be like, oh, it stopped working. What thing do I buy? But I don't know. It's happening to me, so it's probably gonna happen to somebody else. So while I'm here, I'm going to put a link to, I hesitate to put a link to the EasyCoo thing because you have to buy a separate, it does not come with a power supply. It doesn't come with a, wow, my thing's all jacked up. Actually, let me put this over here. The EasyCoo one, you need to buy a separate power supply. Oh, and it's $30 right now. So this is the EasyCoo. It's $30, and you have to still buy a power supply. So I'm gonna include Amazon affiliate links to it, but I hesitate because it's it's kind of expensive for where you can get the View HD, right, for the same cost. So let's open up my stream. I have another quick thing that I want to, well, actually, I don't know if I'm going to have time to go through this, but I hope you guys don't mind that I'm doing this, because some people will care. Some people will want to know which ones that I tested that were good. So let's edit the description. And I'll put the, let me find the, where's my page that has the $17 View HD. Okay, so recommended HDCP strippers. Amazon affiliate links. Okay, so this is the U9/View HD 4K 1x2 splitter. Only strips on port 1. Okay. So that's that one. Sorry, I'm not reading the comments for this a second. Let me just put the EasyCoo one. Okay, copy the. Oh, wait a minute. That is that the right one? Bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. This is cringe if you're. Okay, then the EasyCoo. How do you spell EasyCoo? I don't know. EasyCoo 4K 1x2 splitter. I didn't test port 2, but I'm assuming it's only port 1. Only strips on port 1, maybe? I'll just put only strips on port 1, and doesn't include a USB power brick. So I don't recommend that one. I'll just put it there anyways because it worked. Okay, so now if you refresh this stream, you should see links to the 2 that worked of the 4 that I tested. So I don't recommend it, the EasyCoo one, just because it's almost double the cost. Plus you need to buy another one unless you have a bunch of USB dongles that will, or USB bricks that will work. But to me that just seems sus. Whereas you can just buy the View HD one for half as much, and it comes with what you need. But again, your setup will be different, and yada yada yada. In the Retching 4K vid, try shows that he is using the EasyCoo Easy. So I didn't test. There's a bunch of other types. So let me Google that one. Actually, I'll just put it into Google. Where's my new tab? Sorry, I have to look around my 2 cameras. EasyCoo Easy-SP12H21. Time to test DOA 5. Okay. I'll just talk quickly about this other thing and then. Okay, so this might be exactly the same. Oh. This is it. This is the same thing. It doesn't say the model number. Let me just Google it. Or let me just see if I can find it. I'm pretty sure that this is the exact same thing that it looks exactly the same. This is it on the EasyCoo website, but this is what it looks like on in person. So yeah, this is basically the one that Tri recommends. But it's too expensive compared to the View HD one. That works fine. Yeah, that's just my opinion. You know, you can use whatever one you want, but I also like that it the EasyCoo one has the ports on both ends, so if that's annoying, some of you might not matter, or some of you might not care that the plugs go on either side, and it is a little bit smaller, so if you need to tuck it away maybe inside your cabinet, it does take up less, and it's USB powered. So if you have some other, that is a nice feature, and I wanted that to be a good thing for me, and that's why I bought these USB splitter things, right? It's like I really want to get away from everything having a separate wall wart, and I just like the idea of USB-C stuff, like multiple ports. That's like this stupid thing here. But it doesn't work for the RetroTink, and it doesn't work well. It might work in your circumstance, but yeah. You purchased one of these 7 years ago? Well, I can take one of these apart, CO. Like during my lunch break tomorrow, if you message me, I will take this apart. You want to know what chip ICs it has? All right, you know what? I know people want to see Booba. All right, I have a second one of these. Wait, let me plug this one in. I have 2 of these. Sorry, EasyCoo. Yeet. I hope I can find all this stuff that this stuff goes together with. I have to return all these things. Okay, input here. I'm going to start loading a game, and then while we're waiting to load the game, CO, let's take the second one apart, because I have 2 of these. I'll let you know what chips it's got. All right, so let's fire up the good old View HD in the, what should we choose to play on, the OSSC? Let's play the OSSC Pro. It won't be 4K, but PS3 plus 3x scalers will be the next stream. Yes, PS3. Now that we've conquered. Oh no, do I have to turn off the thing? Okay, HDCP is off. Okay, did I do a thing? Did I not do the right thing? Okay, so in this case, the OSSC needs to be power cycled. Oh, I forgot that I could just turn off the OSSC with the remote. I don't know why I never think about that. So I don't even have to get up. Okay, but I have to change the menu or the input. So yes, next stream we'll be doing a. So I don't think I have Dead or Alive. I might. Let me see. Here's my list of games here in Webman. I have Demon Souls. Nope, no Dead or Alive. I'm sorry, unfortunately. I can acquire some for the PS3 stream. I suppose if you're watching this now and you want me to play a game on the PS5 stream, or the PS3 stream, my goals are to try to hit games that have all the different funky resolutions, right? So I have a 1080p game, I need a 720p game, a 1080i game, or something that has weird edge cases. Did someone say stripper plus booba? So the $18 View HD is the winner. That's my opinion, yes. But if you like USB-C and you have a good enough power adapter and you don't mind spending a little bit more money, but it is USB-C, then the EasyCoo is the second runner-up, I suppose. I don't know, Need for Speed. Ridge Racer looks amazing. We could play Ridge Racer. Uncharted looks like Dookie, if you guys want to see Dookie. Oops, all ISOs. Yeah, only about 80 or so, 72. 5 Ultimate. Try Wipeout. I don't have Wipeout, unfortunately. Tomb Raider, Street Fighter. Ridge Racer looks crispy. You guys want to see some crispy? And to see me play not be good at a racing game. Here, let's load up Ridge Racer because that game really looks good. Okay, DOA 5 is 720p. All right, Chungo, tweet me that. Tweet at me and say get DOA 5 for the stream. All right, so let me do what Sia wanted. I got to get my other. I switched to the Morph because I wanted to show off the 1080p. The 1080p-ness. Oh wait, how good that Ridge Racer looks. It's a 1080p game. I hope I don't get demonetized again. I swear to God, I'm getting demonetized every video. There's this weird thing that plays in the beginning of Ridge Racer. Does it have any giant enemy crabs? I remember those ultra cringe, shows, whatever. When they showed off the PS3. So let's get into is there a way for me to play like a demo race or something, or is there like an attract mode? Hello, dudes. I just want to see a thing. I just want to see it. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Sure, let's go for it. This is not a backwards compatible PS3. This is a Slim. Confirm machine. Let me plug in my headphones so that I can actually hear it. I have the other thing, CO. I just gotta... Let me do one race so that I have a replay so that people can watch something while I'm taking apart that thing. See, this is a PS3 game and it looks amazing. Oh no, don't start yet. Okay, we're ready to go. Oh my god, wait, my TV's not ready. Pause! Ugh, okay. Wait a minute. I gotta turn my PS... Okay. Okay, we're good. Go! What's the handbrake? Oh, R1. And then boost is what? R2 or something? I don't have any boost yet. I'm playing through a phone and a camera, so I have terrible vision. Oh! Is it on like auto turn or something? It's on easy mode because I'm a scrub with racing games.
Nice slipstreaming.
Oh god. Oh, it's a slipstream. That's what I did. Wow, what great gameplay. What is the handbrake again? Is it R1? Oh no, it's square. Whoops. Okay, that's what I've been wanting to do this whole time. Wow, I suck. Definitely not looking at the chat. My bad.
You entered the slipstream.
Get out of my way, stupid bug.
Looks like you really got your hands full.
Meow.
Just a little bit more.
2 laps to go.
2 laps to go. Whoops. See, it does like auto turn weirdly. When you're in a power slide, it just freaks out. This console has Mario Kart. Oh, got a slipstream to get more boost or something. Ah! Well, fail. Lost all my speed. This is a mini PS3 stream. Sorry, I'm not looking at the comments. I'll look at it in a second.
Slipstreaming.
Thanks, lady. Slipstreaming.
You're in 6th place.
Thanks, lady. You suck. That's basically what she said. Get out of my way! Ah. Well, so much for trying to win.
Here comes the final corner.
See, like auto turns for you there. That's weird. Finish. All right. This is gonna sound stupid. Before I got into retro gaming, this is what I remember PS2 games looking like. And this is a launch PS3 game. So that makes sense. But the important thing about this game, I suppose, is that it's a 1080p game, 1080p 60 FPS game, which is kind of rare with the PS3. It only gets worse from here, I guess. The PS3 was kind of a, like, I won't say that I'm 100% a PS3 hater, but I think that the Xbox 360 was the better console, but we'll find out. Okay, so let's take on, let's do this. Let's take this apart for CO. So I have a second one of these things, these View HD. I hope this is what you wanted. This one is what you wanted, right, CO? I don't know if I want to take apart the one I'm going to return. The EasyCoo one. CGR did a review and said a similar thing if using composite on a CRT. Oh, I guess I also want to mention that another way to get around HDCP is to use component output. So you don't necessarily need to get a HDCP stripper if you use analog video. But the reason I didn't talk about that is because I'm using the HDMI inputs of all these devices. So it was not as important to me. Oh man, is this got some kind of glue or something? I hope I don't explode this, man. Dang. Okay, we're in. We're in like Flynn. I don't know if this is the chip, but it is a chip. It's a GS Cool-Link. A GSV 002. I'm not sure if that was helpful. I don't know if there's any other chips on the bottom. Maybe I'll unscrew it and look at the bottom. Nudity incoming? Yeah. PCB teardown. Fire Bayonetta. Did I have Bayonetta? I'm gonna load a different game in the background while I'm still tearing this down. Sorry, I'm doing it kind of off screen because it's hard to do up here on the PS3. It's a Chinese custom chip. Okay, that makes sense. Pretty much nothing on the back. Some discrete components and some flux. Or it kind of looks like corrosion a little bit. Oh, that's around the, this is probably hand soldered, this AC port and this little switch. So that's what the inside of this one looks like. This is the one that I recommend pretty much for the price and for what it is. It's a Chinese domestic manufacturer. I know them. Impossible to find their documentation in the West. Yeah, that's a bummer. All right, let's turn the PS3 back on. Let's try to play a different game quick. I got about a half hour. This will be the PS3 preview stream. Can you cycle through the scalars in-game? Sure, I can do that in the next game. Now let me load a game up. I only have, if anybody has a AverMedia Live Gamer, the external 4K scaler, it's called the Ultra something. So it's like Live Gamer 4K Ultra or something. Not the newer ones, not the HDMI 2.1 ones. Like I don't necessarily need one of those, but I would like to borrow it while I have the OSSC Pro, because right now I'm just using my Magewell capture card, the USB 2 or whatever it is, and that one can only capture 1080p, up to 1080p. Sure, no problem, Sia. So here's all the games I've got. Maybe we could play Assassin's Creed again. Maybe Bioshock Infinite, that might look good. I've heard this Blaze Blue game looks, or Blaze Blue, whatever, might look good. Both links go to the U9. Okay, shoot. Let me just fix that quick so people can... Thanks, Brandon, for telling me. Shout out to Brandon again. He's the one who let me borrow the OSSC Pro. Okay, let me get the EasyCoo. Copy. Okay, the URL is different this time. Okay. All right, check again, Brandon, if you want. Thanks for pointing that out. Let me switch back to the list of games on my screen. Actually, I'm going to get my freaking camera out of here because I do not need it right now. And it's just preventing me from being a really good PS3 gamer. Oh no, I might have turned it off. Okay, I didn't. Sorry, I'm just kind of like mumbling it right now. I've got to unplug my camera. And then I've got to take the whole rig off my desk, knock over everything as it snags 8 cables, and then put it on the floor. I'm kind of surprised they've not broken my expensive camera yet by doing this over and over again. Okay, we're good. Now I can actually be a gamer. Any Vanillaware games? I'm not sure. Dragon's Crown would be a good one to test. I don't think I have got that. Demon Souls would be cool. Dragon Age Origins. Or Fallout New Vegas. I like that game a lot. Not a lot. It's been a long time since I played it, but... Also, my PS3 is screaming. PS3 is getting super hot, man. Very hot. And this has been cleaned and repasted. Needs booba. Is there booba? Jesus. Oh, yeah, it's probably just Sunday. I think they stream every Sunday. That's fine. I mostly do this for VODs. If people want to Google it or search it later, if they're interested in HDCP stuff or whatever, or I don't know. Far Cry 3, God of War maybe? Heavy Rain? I've heard that this is a pretty short game. Journey? There's a strip club at one of the casinos. Oh, there's some booba. Oh, it wouldn't... I have some... Is Heavy Rain have booba? Isn't that... Oh, no, that's the... what's that game where you're doing parkour? What's the game that has booba? I can't believe I'm saying that. Jesus. Tomb Raider. Yeah, nailed it. Okay. Not quite the booba, but... yeah, well, I have it set to go ramp up higher in Webman after like a certain temperature. It's whatever the stock settings for Webman are. Another fun fact is if you use Webman, you can also install system update or game updates. Oh, this might take 1,000 years. I should not have done that. This was a mistake. Uh-oh, did I just lose a screw? Uh-oh. I lost a screw. Oh, no, I found it. Okay. Why did I do this? We're going to have to just install an update for the last 10 minutes. Shoot. Heavy Rain takes a while to get the booba. SOTC? I feel like I should know what that is, but I don't remember. I'm just putting my View HD thing back together. Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah, that's one that we could play. Wow, it's ramping up now. It's not going to take 7 minutes. I think the PS3 is only like... is it a 100 megabit Ethernet? Cancel it. Oh, it's almost done. Well, actually, it's downloading. Let's see how long it'll take to update. It's a 99 megabytes. All right, I'll cancel it. Fine. Sure. Cancel. Get out of there. Start. Wasting precious time. Wasting precious stream time. I can just hit cancel here. Will it load the game? Oh, okay. It did. Nice. So is this is the remake, right? Oh, whoops. Hit the wrong button. This is the new one, right? Why am I not getting any volume? Oh, I gotta adjust the brightness. I don't care about this right now. This is the new one. Okay, let's see, new game. Oh man, it looks so bad.
A famous explorer once said,
I'll cycle through the scalars once it gets in the game. Because Wobbling Pixels wanted to cycle through. But like I said, the OSOC Pro is at a disadvantage because I don't have one of those scalars. If you have, or I don't have another 4K capture card. If you have a 4K capture card you want to let me borrow, I would appreciate it, because I looked for some cheap ones, but they were, for $100 I can get that. Is it loading? What is happening? It's just sitting on the screen. I'm assuming it's loading, or did it freeze? It's the 2013 reboot. Okay. Twin strippers of the way. The original Tomb Raider does have two. Well, there's also, yeah, all those. Oh yeah, now they have their new remake of the. Is this loading? Or is it frozen? Oh, I think the PS3 froze because I can't get to the menu. That's unfortunate. Maybe it doesn't like net booting or network net serve. I think it's called PS3 net serve. Well, that's a bummer. All right, let's see if we can get some booba in this stream. People are gonna come in here and be like, "This guy's gross." I swear it's not me. Okay, it's a frozen FMV. Okay, it could be just a frozen FMV for from the net serve thing. Maybe the update patch froze it. Shouldn't have canceled the update. Doesn't like net booba. Gross. There is a browser. We could get some net booba. That's funny. That's a bummer because you can't have a bigger. You can't have it. Well, I don't have a 1.5 terabyte hard drive because that's like 2 terabytes or whatever is the max that you can have internal on a PS3. I've heard that an external hard drive is the second best, so I might try that for loading a bunch of files. But I'll have to get one because right now I don't have one that can connect. Don't mind me, just looking for booba. We could make a girl character in Dragon Age, right? A female character, or in Fallout. But Fallout looks gross. Oh, there's guaranteed to be booba in Street Fighter. Although I'm terrible at what is SOTC? I might not have that game. Oh, Shadow of the Colossus. Oh, that doesn't have booba in it though, does it? I gotta feed the beast. Blaze Blue. I'm sorry, Belmont. I try. I don't want to be the one to deny. I must supply. I use the O-Ray 1x2 splitter for HDCP bypass on PSTV to great effect. You know what? I wonder now. I wonder if because the O-Ray wasn't that another one that was USB? Maybe I should have given that another chance. With the not Damn, you know, now I'm regretting it. Okay, while I have it, before I return it, I need to test it. Oh wait, never mind. It has. Oh, all right. While this is doing its thing, I'm gonna plug in the array thing. I think we'll see if we can try to. It may hate hot swapping it, but I'm gonna see if I can hot swap zippers while it's running. That's a new sentence. All right, I'm plugging it now. HDMI input. HDMI output. Okay, let's try it. It probably needs to do the whole handshake. All right, let's just reboot one more time. I'm curious now. So this is on that better USB power plug. Maybe the array is worth getting at $10. Maybe it was the power supply the whole time. No valid signal detected. That's a new error. Okay, nothing. That's strange. I wonder if there was a then there might have been a hardware revision or something. Which one did you say you had? Akiko. Do you have a 4K one? Because I have a 1080p one that does not do HDCP stripping. I wonder if there's a hardware revision or something. Let me try port 2. Didn't someone say something? Or that was a different scaler. But just for ha-has. Let's just try it again. Yours is a few years old. Okay. It's possible that the newer ones... Well, maybe the cost-reduced $10 one doesn't have it. That's a possibility. Okay. It didn't like it. Well, that's a shame. Yep. Array doesn't work. So there must be a new revision that it's just different. Okay. Let's just do, I don't know. We'll go back into Street Fighter and I'll just close out the stream. We'll talk about stuff. Oh, let me while this is booting up, I just wanted to get into a game so I can switch the different scalars for wobbling pixels. But I also wanted to talk about these things, but I didn't really get to it. Let me just get into the game here first. Below the game. In the background here. Okay. While that's loading, I have these. So let's say you didn't want to buy, let's say you also had multiple scalars like I do, multiple 4K scalars, and you didn't want to buy the Extron. Two cheap options, and these are kind of, I don't know how much these were. I mean, they were pretty affordable, less than $50. These are just, they're also splitters, but they're 1 to 4. So if you were crazy like me and you somehow acquired all 4 of the scalars, you could use, this is an array version. It doesn't do, it is only 4K by 2K. No. Is it a 1080p? It's a 10.2 gigabit per second. Is that 4K or is this a 1080p one? So for all intents and purposes, I would say that this is good for 1080p. If you wanted to split a bunch of consoles, or oh wait, no, why would I get this? Oh no, never mind. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm blacking out. This would be good if you had a single console that you wanted to connect to a bunch of scalars. So this is the 1x4 1080p one from O-Ray. Didn't even open that up, but that's probably going back. But here, again, I'm a View HD fanboy, I suppose. I have a View HD. This is 4K. Again, HDMI 2.0. But this is a splitter. Oh, it's 18 gigabit per second too. So this would do HDMI 2.0. Yeah, so this is a splitter. So if you had a single console or a single input, HDMI input, you could go to multiple scalars at once. So I don't know if these do HDCP stripping, but this might be an okay alternative instead of an Extron if you wanted to connect to a bunch of scalars. The key for me was having at least 3 outputs. So this have 4 each. So I guess if you have them all, or if you wanted to also, bring along, let's say you had oh, actually, never mind, you wouldn't be able to do that. I guess if you had a Retro 5X or something and you had one of those HDMI to component converters. Yeah. What do you think about the Morph versus Tink for HDMI scaling? They're oh, you've got to be kidding me. Let me power cycle this again. Actually, let me just turn it off with the remote. Will that work? I keep forgetting that I can just use the menu, use the remote to turn the switch off. Hold that thought. Oh, that might be loud for you guys. Sorry. Just all the volumes are at different things. Man, I guess you really do need to walk over and... Oh, did I not turn it back on now? Oh, yeah, there we go. Sorry, I'm struggling. Well, I'm kind of withholding judgment until the... Oh, I guess we did say HDMI scaling. Okay, now we've got the RetroTink working. I would say that they're identical. For 1080p, for 480p, 720p, 1080p, I would say identical. You would not go wrong with either one. I suppose I have opinions about which one I prefer. I suppose right now, because of the menu, I prefer the Morph. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter for 480p or for 720p or 1080p. This doesn't matter. But the fix, what is it called? The Wildman Pixels had a name for it when you can zoom in and it does the width and the height at the same time. So like, let's say it was 40p, but it didn't take up the whole screen or the whole vertical part of the screen. With the Morph, it's very easy to make it full screen. I'm not sure if it's that easy on the RetroTink. Let me look at the menu here. Not like it's going to do anything for this particular game. This is already at what, 720p, so it's a line tripling to 4K. Let me see, where in the menu would that be? Scaling, probably. Oops, shoot. Oh, it does have auto crop, so I don't know. I mean, there are some features in this that the Morph doesn't have, so that's sort of the problem is they both have different features, and it really depends on what's important to you. So for me, what's important to me is like ease of use and just getting it working and not having to fiddle with settings. So right now, like auto everything, and people might yell at me for that, but because I have a Morph or I have all these upscalers and it's I'm not trying to maximize the performance every single time, but for digital, for HDMI stuff, there's less to really maximize. Freeform, well, I guess it's shoot, Wildman Pixels had a good name for it. I don't know. It maintains the aspect ratio, I suppose, because the OSSC does not. The OSSC Pro does not. Like you can make each direction bigger or smaller. So proportional. That's I'm like, it's like a third grader would know that word. Proportional scaling, proportional zoom, where all you would have to do is hit up or down and it maintains the aspect ratio and you can make it as big as the screen. So really without messing with any other settings, set everything to auto, maybe turn on interpolation, and then just zoom in whatever game. If you need to zoom, till it's the full vertical. So that's really appealing to me. And The retro tank probably has that. I don't really know because it's hard for me to tell on this because there's nothing to zoom here because it's already full screen. But it's a couple menus deep. So I don't know. In that specific case, the morph kind of wins for me because it's just easier to use and get what I want, which is just full screen. Now, if it kind of automatically did, if either one automatically did it, then that would be the winner. But I don't think either of them do that right now. With like, for example, like a 480p, where it may not be full vertical height. But for this, 720p or 1080p, it would already be that. As far as lag, I mean, just on the captures and stuff, I don't really have a lag tester yet. My Mr. Laggy is coming in, so without an actual lag tester, I would not be able to tell you if one is better than the other or lower than the other. If they're both low, I can tell, just by using it. So it's a toss-up, man. Oh, aux 1 through 3 work for auto crop? You mean the OSSC Pro? Oh, the buttons. Oh, okay. Yeah, there are quick buttons on the remote for the RetroTank that let you auto crop stuff. So that is kind of a nice feature. The morph. Okay. I also have to admit that the morph remote is terrible, and I also have to admit that by using the Extron. Oh, never mind. It works now. There was a problem with the because you can use CEC. So I'm using my LG remote. My LG TV remote as the like the morph remote is not good at all. I mean, it's not awful. It's functional. It works, but I would not like to use it for any long period of time, which is kind of unfortunate. But I know it's a cost-saving thing. It does support CEC, so I can use my. Oh, I'm on the RetroTank right now. I can use my TV remote to get into the menu, and I thought this was broken through the Extron DXP, but apparently it works still. So that's good. So that's kind of a non-issue for me personally because I can use my TV remote in place of the morphs remote, and it has all the same functionality basically. The way you manually scale on the gem, and I assume the morph 2 is kind of weird to me. You have to set option par and dar. Well, for me, I kind of set it to direct mode for the gem, and then auto everything for everything else. So everything should auto switch. Well, people have said you're right. That's a bad example because like for the PS2, it can't automatically detect some of the aspect ratios, or maybe it was the Xbox. What was I playing the other day? Oh, I was playing Dead or Alive, so it was the Xbox. Or what is it called? Anamorphic widescreen or something. So like there are cases where no scaler is going to automatically detect and fix or correct for the auto for the aspect ratio. So there will always be for certain games some level of interaction that you have to do, which is unfortunate. I wish everything was automatic, but that's just not how it works. Maybe in the future we might have some kind of game ID that can pass through the Xbox. That would be really cool. That way the scalers could have a database, and just if it knows the game that you're playing, then it could automatically set all the options. So that's a future setting that I hope comes, and that will be killer. Like that would be whichever scaler reaches that first, I would say is the. Well, I hope they both do, right? I hope that nobody. I really don't want anyone to lose, right? Because they're both expensive devices. They're both hundreds of dollars. So if you bought one or the other, I don't want you to feel disappointed because I'm not necessarily disappointed in either one. And I hope that eventually they both reach parity. But for the morph, I can't have complete judgment of it yet without the analog bridge. And really without the infinity switch, because that's kind of a killer feature also. If you've been holding out for an infinity switch, then it kind of makes sense for you to get a morph instead of the RetroTank. But yeah. The web GUI's there, I just have not used it for the morph. So I don't know anything about it yet. I don't know if I ever will because I don't care that much. But eventually you will have to interact with it for profiles. So like profiles should be coming with analogs for and the analog bridge, because there's going to be a hell of a lot of settings. As far as I know, it uses the same chip, and it should expose the same types of settings, you know, phase and all this other stuff that the Retro 4K and the OSSC Pro let you tweak. That should come with the analog bridge. I hope this isn't just a giant rant. Like, I'm trying to be objective. I really am. I'm trying to stay out of the any sort of drama, because I know these things are expensive, and I want people to not feel bad about their purchase for one reason or another. All right, I think that's gonna be it. Is my face cam dead yet? Oh, my cat's meowing at me. That's pretty much it. I wish I had a little more time to do those splitters, so I could, you know, swap out those 4x or 1 to 4 splitters instead of the Extron, because, well, the 4x4 Extron DXP was actually, it was $50, so that's pretty reasonable. But the 4x8 ones and the more input and output ones do go for more money on eBay. So I would check eBay if you want one of those. But it is such a big clunky thing. It has a loud fan. So it's not an ideal thing. And these smaller splitters, you know, are better. No, I know you weren't trying to bait me. I just sometimes I don't know if I'm preparing like a good statement. Like I start talking sometimes before I kind of like know where I'm gonna go. So I have a lot of thoughts, right? And I've been using these things for a bit now. But I'm trying to be impartial until the analog bridge comes out, because that for me is going to be like the complete package, right? But you know, there will be a lot of people that might only care about the HDMI input, so I'm glad that you asked that. And right now, I think either of them would be fine. So I think you'd be happy with, well, it's on a console by console basis. I've been doing console by console, so go back and I guess and watch my streams, and you'll kind of know my struggles. I haven't really had a ton of time to play with each one yet, because I run into issues or I talk to chat and stuff. So I feel kind of bad about that. Right now, Project Stellar, if you have an Xbox, that's the only one that I feel is not ready yet for upscaling. There's kind of bugs with certain resolutions, kind of like getting stuck. So I know Dustin is aware of that, and Dustin is working on a firmware update. So it's not unfixable. It's just not. It wasn't there when I tested it back in time. So that's the only one where I was kind of like, eh. But direct mode over the PS2 gem works fine. And actually, I had an issue in that stream where the RetroTink was like kind of fuzzy. I can guarantee you that fuzzy weight wobbling issue was probably caused by the USB. Oh, my thing. It was probably caused by the USB power brick that I was using. So if I had a better power brick, it probably would have fixed that issue. So I'll retest that stuff, you know, before I make my final conclusion. Apologies on the PS2 morph video. Didn't mean to cause any drama. No, I mean, it's fine. It's people are excited and they want, you know, the answers to their questions and stuff. And I'm not necessarily, I wouldn't really say that I'm a reviewer. Well, I'd say I'm like a realist reviewer, right? Like I would rather spend a lot of time, you know, actually using it. And that way I can tell you which one I gravitate toward more. Right now I gravitate more to the morph because there's just nothing in the menu. There's really there's no menu options really, because I haven't really messed with there's no analog to mess with yet. So I don't know. It's just a more simple UI. Just there's nothing really in it. But that will change when analog comes around, and then, you know. So I'm even people that are sort of mean or off-putting, whatever. I appreciate their comments too, because it's like sometimes I may not know something. Like Extrems was in the GameCube stream and he was telling me about that. There's like a 1-to-1 vertical or some mode in Swiss that I didn't know about that actually makes it look a little better. So that stuff, you know, I would never get that. Even if it takes me getting, you know, beat over the head or making made fun of or something, like it's fine, because then everybody kind of I just don't. Right now, I don't think there's. Well, actually, the console wiki has individual console setting pages that I probably would follow. Like that's what I would follow. Before I would say, there wasn't like a guide to like how do I use this console, how do I use this console, but the console wiki is pretty good about that. Not as simple as a multi-cable attached to a TV. Oh my god, I had one of those back in the day for different consoles. Yeah. Well, I enjoy the technology. I enjoy, I like that these, that the Extron DXPs, those are like thousands of dollars new. I know they're discontinued now, but like to get one for $50 or something that was like $1,000 or more new, I'm like, yeah, that's so awesome. I can't wait for the 4K Extrons to go down, the Matrix, 4K, whatever. I don't know what they're called, Ultra DXP or something like that. I can't wait for eventually those will go on sale. Because that would be a really cool. Everything will go through. Like right now, I have. So console goes into the Extron DXP, goes out to each of the scalers. Each of the scalers goes through into a capture card with pass-through. Then the pass-through goes into a switcher, an HDMI switcher, and then that goes to my TV. So I can switch any of the console or any of the scalers to my TV with just a button. So. I have an OSSC, but haven't used it properly. The OSSC Pro or the original OSSC, because if you have an original OSSC, I have no problem with you having the OSSC collect dust because I did not love that device. As soon as I had a RetroTink 5X, I kind of stopped using it completely. The 4K Extrons are expensive, yes. Yeah, I just don't like the menu of the OSSC Pro, unfortunately. It carried over a lot of the menu of the OSSC, and I don't like it. It just needs to be brand new. It needs a new interface. Is the only reason for these newer devices 4K monitors and latency then? I think the latency has always it's been kind of fixed ever since the OSSC. I think the OSSC was the first one. So like the first scaler that I heard about was the FrameMeister. And that one has a little bit of latency. I think it actually depends on if you're doing deinterlacing or not. I think something like that. But it has a little bit of latency, like some milliseconds latency or something, like enough where you can feel it and like it affects your button inputs and stuff. When the OSSC came out, the original OSSC came out, that was the first like very low latency scaler. So the low latency has kind of been a thing now already. So like the RetroTink 5X has been a thing. If you have a Retro Gem, or if you have a one of the digital mods, like the HDMI mods for the consoles, those have pretty low latency. So really, it's about 4K, and just kind of being, in my opinion, it's kind of like being an omni device, right? Because you get your digital HDMI in. So if you have existing HDMI mods, they'll carry forward. And if you already have an analog setup, those will be. There is a noticeable difference, in my opinion. I didn't do a lot of 1440p RetroTink 5X or Retro Gem gameplay, I suppose. But I've recently gotten a 4K TV, like the OLED. It's been within the last year or so that I've gotten a 4K TV. But even watching like YouTube content and stuff in 4K, I can definitely tell now the difference between 1080p and 4K pretty easily. And not to like humble brag or whatever, but like some people are less sensitive to the difference between 1080p and 4K, but I can notice it pretty glaringly, especially because I sit very close. So like I have this is a 42-inch OLED. I'm pretty close to it. It's only 2 feet or something, and even more, well, maybe less so, but still, this right monitor back here is also 4K. It's a 27-inch. I have a harder time. Well, I can still tell the difference between 1080p and 4K there. I might have less of a hard time telling the difference between, or I might have more of a hard time, I guess, telling the difference between 1440p and 4K. So I do a little bit of gaming in 1440p on this left monitor now. So I used to have a 1080p high refresh rate monitor here, but I've recently I wouldn't call this an upgrade because it's not a high refresh rate. It's only 70 hertz, but 1440p So if you already had a retro gem or one of the digital mods, those can output 1440p, and certain RetroTink 4K or RetroTink 5Xs have okay. It depends on the console. 4:3 aspect ratio 1440p, not 16:9, but so I don't know if there's that big of a difference between 1440p and 4K, but I can tell the difference not big, but I can definitely tell the difference between 1080p and 4K. So I think that's the appeal, is that having a 1080p or having a 4K image. But 4K is also better because it's a better multiple of lower resolution. So it's 3x 720 and 2x 1080. So you can get what is it called, integer scaling to 4K more easily. So there's less. Depending on the consoles that you play, there's less, what is it called, interpolation that you've got to do. So I wouldn't call a product with less features, less settings, bugs, fundamental. No, I hope what I was trying to say was, it depends on your use case. For me, I value ease of use more than anything else. Just because the RetroTink has a bunch of settings, or is, I wouldn't say that it's better, but I can't necessarily compare. Like right now, as it stands, you might find some cases, especially with analog, where with the optimal profile in the RetroTink, maybe it might look sharper, but for like, I don't know, 720p or 1080p games, I don't think there would be a difference between those two. So if that's what those are the games that you play, then either one would be fine. I guess what I meant was, having that's why I try to test auto everything and compare it that way. Versus like, if you do want to profile hop and stuff with the RetroTink, you've got to actually go do that. That's another 3 something steps that you've got to do. It's there if you want it, to see if it's any better output. But I think actually the only profile that I tried with an HDMI console was the Xbox, and we kind of choked that. It kind of was not great. Not the profiles were not great, but the Stellar has weird bugs and stuff. So I hope that is that makes sense. Yeah. We're not talking about the LCC Pro. Well, do you have both Wobbling Pixels? Do you have a morph also? I can't remember if you talked about it or not. Oh, Team Paradox. Yeah, I have no doubt that you probably don't use your OSSC anymore. It's sort of a frustrating device once you go to a RetroTink 4K 5X. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. I'm not trying to. I think right now for HDMI consoles, I don't know if there's that big of a difference. Maybe latency. So I'm getting the Mr. Laggy. We'll have to test that. It all comes down to, like, visually. I don't know if you'd be able to tell a difference. It comes down to console compatibility and things, which is getting better for both all the time. Like I haven't even touched any of the Mr. cores yet with it, so that could be its own multiple streams of just the Mr. It's not it's not a bug. Well, do you have I was having issues getting it to work on my morph. I think it didn't, like, I set it up. There's a console wiki page for how to set up the Stellar product, or no, how to set up the Xbox HD Plus to use with the RetroTink 4K. And I follow the same guy because the settings are kind of the same in the Stellar. They're in a different spot, but the settings themselves I think are similar between Stellar and Xbox HD Plus. And on paper, I don't think the hardware is any different between those two. Excuse me. And there was weird issues, like sometimes it wouldn't sync on boot. It's like you reboot it and it wouldn't load on the morph, but it would work on the RetroTink. But again, it could be it could have been my setup. It could have been I don't know. It could have been a lot of things. Could have been my splitter. Could have been the power supply I was using for one or the other. So that's why I need to do more testing with other stuff. I need to get some more of these stupid USB things to make sure that everything is solid. I think for the most part the Extron DXP is solid. I think for the most part this VUHD splitter is solid for HDCP. Now the only thing I need to really worry about is the USB power bricks, making sure that those are supplying good power before I can make an affirmative judgment. But I think Dustin is aware of some bug that is like making resolution stick, and it is causing some weirdness. So there will be a fix that will address something, but I'm the wrong person to really ask about exactly what it was. I've got a very tidy room. It's not really. I mean, my desk is. I'm a very. Hello. My desk is a Surface. What's up?
You need to fix what's hot in here.
Yeah, I know it's hot in here.
Can you fix burn?
Oh, I'll be right back in a second. Okay. All right. Keep Stellar's 40p. God, people keep telling me that. Some games are 720p. Yeah. Anyways, doesn't matter. We'll circle back to Stellar. All right. I'm logging off. Thanks everyone. There will be an actual PS3 stream. This is not the PS3 stream yet. This is just figuring out HDCP and figuring out what of the devices I bought work with that. So yep. Thanks everybody. I guess on Wednesday we'll do some PS3 stuff. So see you then.